There's nothing better than waking up at the crack of dawn and heading out to do a little fishing. My name is Katie Mack, and I'm crazy about fly fishing. Lucky for me, I live in Prince Edward Island, a fisher's paradise. I'm normally a catch and release girl, but I've decided it's time to go over to the dark side, and I've invited some chefs along for the ride. They will be creating with their daily catch and sharing recipes. So join us as we venture from the shore to the kitchen in this episode of Here Fishy Fishing. It's early morning and I'm headed to a secret spot with Collin Rayner, the best fishing guide east of anywhere.
So we got some muddy water this morning from the rain, which to me is my favorite.
Perfect.
If you look real close, you might find that was a big one too. Ready to roll?
Yep, let's go.
Let's go. Just watch your step. There's a couple logs and stuff. Oh, this is beautiful conditions right here. This is perfect. Just step out here. It's all good bottom. And normally what I do myself is until you get your line stretched out, I just go down the left side and the right just to kind of not disturb them. And then once you get enough line stretched out, just kind of redirect it over to where you want to go. Well, you're doing great already, and that's a heavy fly and a small rod. That's great. And you're just on the outside of the current a little bit.
Yeah. Try again.
Yep. And the deeper you go into that corner, the easier it'll be to get to where you need to go. I'm not going to dump everything on you at once, but I'll keep giving you tips as we go along. I'm actually kind of learning myself watching your fly go down because the current is different every day. Yeah. So I'm kind of adjusting as well to the conditions here, but and you're on. Ah! When it goes up there, let it sink just a little bit, because when you throw that mend, you don't. It out. Yeah, it's pulling the fly over the hole, and you're missing the best part. The line in the water, what you're not seeing, is loose. So when they sit there and kind of suck on it, you don't know you got a fish. You start to pull up to get your cast. That's when I'm getting it. Yeah, and you're not actually getting the hook set because you don't even know he's on. Yeah. So if you set the hook early, then you're going to get them in the top jaw, and it's not going to affect them any. Bend in a little bit, sink, and a real nice aggressive strip through. Again, when you're stripping aggressively like that, everything's going to be tight. So the minute that something hits, you're going to know, because the end of that line is going to do something different like that. Yeah. Right? So, you're biting the line. This is also a Collin technique. This is a nice fish. It's kind of funny, but our casting is not only casting to catch a fish. Yeah. It's casting to prepare to keep them on during the fight. Yeah. There, pull. There we go. Nice.
I would have thought that was a tree.
Yeah, nice
Just
fish.
Keep pulling?
No, let him have line if he needs to. Try to control him. But if he goes to take a spurt, let him out because he will snap your line.
I've never done this before, Collin.
That's okay. It's the fun part.
It's great. People talk about a 20-minute fight, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, this is it. It's been a long time. I don't see any sign of, uh-oh. Get out of there, buddy. Get out of there. You got him?
Yeah.
Snapped you.
That's the guy to do it again. Perfect. Am I in the pool now? No.
You're on a fish. Oh, you're on a big fish, Katie. You're on a big fish. Nice.
Trying to follow.
That's good. Bring him in. Oh. Not ready?
Great success.
Well.
Is it?
Of course.
Oh. He didn't want to be on the Facebooks.
So we're now leaving the catch and release zone.
So we can get something for supper maybe.
Yeah, if you want something for supper, we can retain a fish up here, but there are some really, really good pools up the brook. I got 26 pools actually. Spent a whole morning at one, but there's 25 left. I don't think we'll get through them all today.
And I like the underdog pools. I was so psyched by my success, I took Chef Chanelle to my favorite trout spot for her first try at fly fishing. So Chanelle, we're at the Mill River, or at least a tributary flowing into Mill River.
It's beautiful.
It is a beautiful spot. We're seeing little fish jump here. So this is your first time fly fishing?
Yeah.
There's some good water here. We're going to try a few spots, but on the fly, what we're looking to do is try and imitate some of these insects you see flying around.
Oh, okay.
The insects, they start at the bottom, the little baby eggs. They come on up and they become caddis, pupae, larvae, the whole thing. And eventually they come out of the water, pop, and then they live for a short period of time. They mate, they go back to the water, and they die. And that's the insect life cycle, and we try and imitate the whole thing. Okay, what I have on right here, we're going to start, is the pink mystery. I like it because you can see it really well in the water. You see it floating along, and when the trout eats it, you'll know, you'll see it. And then I have my little variation on I think it looks like maybe a mosquito.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
To me, that's a full meal deal. Maybe the trout think it's any one of those things. Let's go fishing. Let's find some shade and we'll get going.
Okay, I'm excited.
Follow me. This looks like a bit of a better spot. We're shaded by the trees, so they can't really see us.
Okay.
I'm seeing some fish rising, some little guys. And you are seeing some bugs. Where are you seeing those?
There's a slug right there. Cute little guy.
Collin, Rayner, his big tip was when you're walking down and you see those black slugs or yellow slugs, that's probably a good indication that the fish are probably eating something that looks like that. Okay. So I do have stuff that can imitate that. So if this isn't working, we'll try a slug. And the goal will be just to drop it down like it fell from the trees, and the fish will eat it.
All right.
Just whiff it towards that way. Oh, are you snagged? Yeah. Try and pull the rod up, see what happens. No, you're good.
Something.
Oh, you are snagged. So pull this line. Can you see it there? I would just get towards you. Just pull it hard. Yeah, just rank it. There you go. So the same thing. Just whiff it up and let it go. Oh, good enough. Yeah, so this is fly fishing. We just sit here and do this all day. I think it's fun.
Yeah, this is really fun. I definitely think I could get used to this.
Unfortunately, the heat was working against us. That's fly fishing for you. But I was determined to get her a trout, so we made plans to try again, bright and early, the next morning. So, where are you working now, Chanelle?
I'm the executive chef at Government House in Charlottetown. That's at the residence of Lieutenant Governor. So I do events and ceremonies and stuff like that there, and I'm also the private chef for the Lieutenant Governor.
Perfect. Did
you see that one?
That was perfect. So, how'd you get into cooking, Chanelle? How'd you decide to be a chef?
I was 21, and I wasn't liking university as much as I had hoped.
Fair.
And I kind of always wanted to do culinary, and I just kind of went for it.
Did you love it there when you started?
Yeah. I immediately knew that's where I was supposed to be.
I used to do banquet waitressing, so spent a lot of time in kitchens, so you can definitely see the appeal, like you get in the zone. I like that it's like, I feel like you're in the moment, right? You're just focusing on one thing.
Yep.
So once we do land one, Chanelle, what are you going to do with it?
Well, I think I'm going to try to braid some fillets.
Braid it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And a saffron and honey glaze.
Ooh.
And I think I'm going to start with some farro. It's one of my favorite grains. So whenever I've done this before, the trout have been much, much smaller. And this one is so big that we actually have a little bit too much fish to work with. So I am going to cut these down a little bit. Now the color of this trout can come in two different colors and come white or this beautiful rosy color. And that means it's been out to sea. Okay, that one looks like a good size and it matches this one. So now we'll work on this piece. Now we're not going to get rid of any of the fish that we're trimming away. We could always use it in a chowder. Beautiful. So now we're going to start the braiding. So I find it helpful to tuck the first one under the middle one a little bit, just to kind of hold it. And then we can get the right one over the middle, left over middle, right over middle, and then just sort of sort them out a little bit because they will get a little discombobulated. I'd say this is a portion for about 3 to 4 people. And you don't want to be too rough with the fish or you'll start to get flaking. You want to keep it nice and consistent. And be gentle. I'm just going to trim off these bottom pieces. We'll put that with our chowder prep. And I'll trim the top off a little bit too. So now we'll move this onto our parchment. So now that we've braided our trout, we're going to make our saffron honey glaze. We're going to start by heating up 3 tablespoons of honey. And we want to do that to get a little bit of a darker color and kind of concentrate the flavor. This glaze is kind of like a gastrique, which is like a sauce with a lot of vinegar. And they're great because they kind of cut the fat of the fish with a little bit of acidity. So we'll get that heating up. In the meantime, we're going to bloom our saffron. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our saffron, put it in the mortar and pestle, grind it up, add an ice cube, and let it sit. And as the ice cube melts, it's going to naturally bloom the saffron. So we'll grind that up until you get a powder. Saffron's pretty delicate. You don't want to heat it up or you're going to lose most of the flavor. And we'll just add our ice cube and let that hang out for a few minutes. So we're just reducing the honey down. We want to get it nice and thick. You don't want to get it so thick that you burn it though. Once you get it to that stage, then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And then let that reduce down. And we're looking for kind of the consistency of a thick maple syrup. So we're almost there on that glaze. We're getting those nice high bubbles. That means the sugar's cooking. So Katie and I went fishing 3 times. It was a lot of fun, but we didn't actually catch any trout. I was able to catch bass and cod and mackerel, but I kind of struck out on the trout this time. But hopefully we're gonna go again, and you never know, I might catch one next time. And she's taught me that maybe I need a new hobby. You know you'll love something when you'll get up at 5 a.m. to do it. Right about there, we'll shut it off. And we'll just let that cool for a couple minutes, and then we'll add our saffron. Okay, so now that our pan is cool, and we're not going to burn the saffron by doing so, we're going to add it in. Do a little mixy-mixy. So because we reduce that honey, because we reduce the honey and the apple cider vinegar together, it's not going to be too thin with the water and the saffron. And once we're all mixed together, we're going to add that to a bowl. And you see that beautiful brown color, and that is liquid gold. So now we're going to brush that on our trout. Oh yeah, that's the perfect consistency. And try to get all the nooks and crannies. Now we're hoping the acid from the glaze is going to cut through the richness of the trout. So now we're going to take our trout, we're going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees. We'll probably check it at about 15 minutes and see where we're at. So I heard you and Adriana were thinking of getting tattoos.
Yeah, you want to come with us?
Yes,
Cool. Are you going to get a fish tattoo?
I think so.
Okay.
And I've never had one before.
It'll be fun.
It'll be my first tattoo. So we're looking for about 135, and it's about perfect now. So we got the perfect temperature, and we're just gonna take a little peek in the middle here. It looks good. It's delicious. The glaze managed to get all the way through. I think with our farro, it'll be beautiful. With our vegetables, it'll brighten everything up. I'm really pleased with this. So here we have our farro. We'll add a little bit of our salad. Now farro plays really nicely with vinaigrette, so any extra vinaigrette on the bottom of this salad, you can just kind of pour it over the farro. And then we'll get our fish. We'll just take a little bit more. Okay, so I think this looks great, and this would be a great dish to serve family style or at a dinner. You could do smaller trout, do single fillets, and I think it's beautiful and it'll be great for a dinner in the near future.